Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Listen, we got to talk a little bit about what's going on in other countries because it does affect our country. There seems to be what looks like a controlled market crash. But when you look at what's going on in other countries, they're happening one at a time, followed by total chaos. Which brings me back to why it is you should be into gold and silver. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Right now, you should be thinking about gold and silver, because that's the only thing you got to protect yourself, protect your family, and protect your investment. So when you go to buy gold and silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. All right, let's take a quick look at cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin still around that 20,000 mark. It has not grown a whole lot since yesterday. Ethereum still around that $1,100 mark. You have Cardano at 48 cents, XRP at 31 cents, Solana at $34.29. Dogecoin sitting somewhere around 6 cents, Polkadot at $7.73. I don't know what's up with Hex, but it seems like when all the other ones seem to be crawling right along, Hex always seems to be taking pretty big jumps in value. It's up 12% today. It's at 0.03. Shiba at now 508 still. And Polygon at 39 cents. If you take a look at the Dow since the beginning of the year, compared to where it is now, you can see that the market is definitely crashing. So instead of the government just letting it crash like it should, what they're trying to do is really control the crash. It's not working. It's falling apart. Because if you take a look at where we were here at the beginning of the year compared to where we are now down below, that's about a 20% loss in value. But more importantly, look from here. Since June the 7th, it looks like almost a straight fall down. Dow Jones went from 33,180, dropped all the way down to 29,888. And this took place in about 13 days, which is really quick. The feds are doing all they can to keep the market afloat. They don't want people panicking because they don't want you liquidating all your assets, doing a bank run, or anything like that. So they're just going to lie to you. They take care of themselves and their families and loved ones. While they know what's coming up, they don't do anything to help the public. No kind of warnings, no kind of anything. This is why you see a lot of the manipulation of the markets. And I mean all markets, job markets, stock markets, crypto markets, gold, silver markets, all being manipulated so that no one market can tip to the American people exactly what direction we're actually going in. You look at Saitama, it's still at 0.003. Nice, it's up there. For the past week, it has been in the green and continues to do so. For the past about 35 years, banks have been consolidating, lowering the number of banks available to us, lowering the number of choices we have. Also, they have been consolidating their riches. Now, whether people want to believe this or not, there is a huge agenda going on, and all of these things all play a part in it. When I say that it appears that countries are doing a controlled crash, I wasn't just blowing smoke up your butt. In order for us to be forced in this so-called Great Reset, a number of things have to happen, one after the other or all at the same time. It's really disappointing to see that the news is not covering things that are best for the people, but instead continue to do what's wrong against the people. Gold and silver investors have been blowing a horn about a coming market crash for a long time. It is here. It is happening. I told you be careful not to keep anything in the bank except for the very minimum, things that you need to cover your expenses. Because you have to be careful about bank runs. Once it starts in one location, it's going to start a chain reaction. Unless the government could do something to stop it, or the news just covers it up and hides it. You see, having gold and silver isn't just about protecting your retirement, protecting your wealth. It also provides a certain amount of freedom. If all your money is in a bank, your retirement, your 401ks, your IRAs, the whole 9 yards, including cryptocurrencies. You guys got to understand that they're tied to banks. I've shown everybody in videos paperwork that came from banks, letting them know that if a bail-in happens, cryptocurrencies are included. So let me show you what is going on, because it appears to already be starting. We most likely will get hit hard in July, and that's just the start of something to come. Once we start getting around to fall time and we start experiencing the food shortages, this is when you're going to see chaos happen in cities. But let's get back to why it is you need gold and silver. As you can see here, look at this, breaking a run on banks in China, long lines in Henan, Shanghai, and Dandong. People are reportedly lining up for hours in China to obtain money from their banks, from their bank accounts in China. The large city of Henan, Shanghai, and Dandong are three cities where the lines are long. After years of the RONA mandate and a government that the average Chinese down deep doesn't trust, the people of China are scared that they will not be able to retrieve their life savings. In some cities, people are standing in lines for hours to receive their money from the bank. This is when you get a bank holiday. This is when they close the banks down, and then they limit your access to your money, only X amount of dollars per day. This is called a bank run and a bail-in. Recently, freezing depositors' accounts by 4 rural banks in Henan has become a hot topic on social media. As a result, customers of these banks could not withdraw their money, which led them to move to Zhangzhou, Henan to claim their rights. Following Henan banks in Shanghai and Dandong also witnessed a long traffic jam in front of their headquarters. This is what you have to look forward to if you don't do something about it now. You stand in line with God knows how many people, waiting in line for hours to get your money out of there, only to find out that you can only take out so much of it. At least with gold and silver, or even if you have a safe at your house somewhere where you can stash things privately and securely, then you take some of the money out you need. I said this many times. Go ahead and grab about 6 months worth of bill money, add on another 10% for miscellaneous. You might want to increase that just in case. And then keep it in your safe along with your gold and silver if you're one of these people that don't want to take everything out. I'm saying you're risking losing everything. I don't trust the banks, nor do I keep money in there. And this is why. A YouTube channel posted a video stating that on June 17th, many people lined up outside Dandong Bank waiting to withdraw their money. The channel wrote, "Done. Banks can't withdraw money. There was a run on a bank in Dandong and a thunderstorm on banks in Henan village that caused the panic." In the video, the long lines of depositors could be seen outside the Dandong Bank, hoping to be able to withdraw their money. These people are hoping to have access to their own money. That's crazy. Let's take a look. That's what you can look forward to when you need your money from the bank.
排队的，还在一时安，看看多少人。
And that line is long. Meanwhile, the people who carefully moved into gold and silver that they personally own and hold are going to be kicking back watching this on the news and praying for y'all. Vision Times quoted a witness as saying, "When I went to the rural commercial banks, the rural merchants had no money." This might be one of the ways they force people into the central bank digital currency. Anyway, it said the merchants had no money. When I went to Dandong Bank, there were many people. I don't know in the end whether they got the money or not. No, because the bank doesn't hold that much money. Seen so many people waiting to withdraw money, and man in the scene said, "It's been like this for days. It's like that every day. These people have been trying to get their money out of the bank, except for those who have invested in the gold and silver." The incident that many depositors in Dandong City could not withdraw their deposits sparked a wave of comments. Banking tricks they purposely tell you to take out so they don't have to pay interest. Well, at least you guys are getting interest. Many banks in mainland China are about to collapse. The people sweat tears and riots. Heaven will not forgive them. These people are going to be starving. They're already creating a food shortage. They're already creating a banking run. So what is going on? You can see still today's date. China's banking scandal may involve $6 billion Public security authorities say they will concentrate on charging those responsible and recovering depositors' lost money. It's going to take a long time. It's going to cause even more of a headache for people. More than 400,000 depositors of 6 rural banks in China, a non-province, are being urged to file their cases to banking regulators if they cannot withdraw their money, which reportedly totals 40 billion yuan or $6 billion. You love this? This is what they're going to tell you when you need your money, the money that you put in there and trusted them to hold, and you are fighting like hell to get it back, standing in line for hours only to find out that you can't get your money. But they have great news for you. You can go ahead and just file your case with the banking regulators. So what are we talking about? Weeks, months before these people actually respond to your complaint? Not to mention the number of other people doing the same thing. How long is it going to take? How do you survive? I know people holding on to gold and silver are going to be able to go downtown to the local stores and swap gold and silver for things that they need. This says since April, the depositors who are located in different places across the country have been unable to withdraw their money over the internet from the rural banks where they expected to enjoy an annual yield of 9%. See how they suckered you into that? Makes me think about what's going on over there in Iraq. They are promising high yields as well. Are they trying to lure you and your money into the bank before they pull this kind of stunt? There's multiple countries who are having issues with banks. This is what I'm talking about. It looks like a staged event, obviously. Right now, they're experiencing bank runs and people cannot get to their money. It's shortly after this in which they will experience also a bail-in, because the banks are going to claim that, hey, look, because of the bail runs, we can't protect ourselves. Therefore, we need a bail-in, and they just confiscate all your money. The only people who are going to be okay are those people who took out their money, put it in a safe, or invested into gold and silver. So something weird has been going on. I mean, seriously, I can draw a freaking huge map showing you that there's multiple things happening in multiple industries all at the same time. They want to blame the coronavirus for all of it, but that's not the truth. These things have been going on for decades. You can go to Google and Google airline mergers, bank mergers. You can go in almost every major area of business and see that mergers have been really taking place over the last couple of decades. Look at the airlines, all the different choices we have. You see, if you strip away choices from the people, well, then you can monopolize, you can control the cost. It eliminates the competition. Airlines merging. This is since 2000. The Alliance Shuttle and consolidation. This is your shipping companies consolidating over here, all the way over to here. And this has been going on since 96. Remember I said this has been going on for decades. This is the banking industry. Look where we are now. Citicorp, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Look at all these companies that have merged into these. Taking away our options is what has happened. Consolidating all the power and all the riches into a handful of people. But it's not just happening here. You can see it's happening around the world. So whatever this bigger agenda is, this has been in the making for a long time. They seem to be stripping away all of our options so that the only choices that we have are whatever they offer us. We don't have to accept that. You can see the list of bank failures just since, this one's just since 2008. Now they're going to say, oh, this is when the banking crashes happened. No, this is when they expedited the mergers. So anyways, for 2008, look at all the banks that failed. 2009, another huge list of banks that failed. Look at this list. All these banks failed. They took these away from you as a choice. 2010, all these banks failed. (2011) The list will start getting shorter because there's not that many options any longer. 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 21, it looks like we had no bank failures. All those banks are gone. All of these options and choices are gone. But in my opinion, they're just trying to consolidate all the power, but also they want to consolidate all the locations in which you could store your money. It makes it easier to grab. It says on here historical trends for most of the United States history, banks were barred from opening branches across state lines, and some states even prohibited interstate branching. These policies led to a banking system composed largely of thousands of small, independent banks like they should be now. It should be that way. And they took away that power. You can see thousands of small independent banks. Independent as in they're not controlled by JP Morgan, they're not controlled by Chase, they're not controlled by Wells Fargo. From 1960 through to 1980, there were between 12 and 13,000 independent banks in the United States. This graph shows you, at least on up to 2018, what happened. So around 1950, you're looking at 13,446 banks. By 2018, we only have 4,774 banks. It went from 13,400 down to 4,700. But right here, you can see the number of FDIC insured banks in the United States between 2000 and 2021. In 2021, there were approximately 4,236 FDIC insured commercial banks in the United States. If you have a bank that fails, no problem. Let somebody else go in there and take a crack at it. No, the restrictions they put on banks made it really hard for new banks to open. Anyways, these are the most powerful banks here in the United States. Like I said, they consolidated the wealth. They limited our options. These people are the crooks. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, you can see what I'm talking about. And even for credit unions, you think credit unions are independent of these banks? You better check again, because a lot of these banks ended up buying credit unions and leaving it with the same name that it had. So that's why you got to ask your bank, are you a satellite of a much bigger bank? And you're going to find out that a good portion of them are actually satellites of these bigger banks. So when they go to just grab all your money and they'll make an excuse for it, that's going to include a lot of different credit unions. If you have a credit union that's a standalone, or a commercial bank that's a standalone, that's exactly what you want. So when I keep warning people about bank runs and bail-ins, the point is, do something to protect yourself. And that protection is gold and silver. If bank runs are already happening now, and it's in China, it's in Japan, as well as in other countries overseas, just go do the research yourself. That means that whatever this is that they're trying to keep propped up for as long as possible is falling apart. Hopefully you have protected yourself. Like I said in the other video, congratulations to 32 people made the conversion over to gold and silver. They did 20, 30% or all of their retirement accounts. Like I said, it's better late than never. Those people in China, you can see they're way too late. What happens if you got family? What happens if you have a baby? What happens if you have a special needs person and you can't get access to your money? You can't pull it out over the internet and you're limited to how much you can spend per day? Think about some of your expenses, and some of you out there have some really huge expenses every day, whether it's medical or something else. Imagine them restricting your money and making an excuse for you not to be able to get it, and whatever you need it for is a life and death matter. Oh well, because that's what they're going to say to you. It's not their family, it's not their loved ones, they don't care. So protect yourself. 6 months to 12 months, however much you can afford to put aside worth of bills. Add 10, 15, 20% as miscellaneous, whatever you can afford. So that when a bank run does happen, you don't have to go stand those long lines for hours. You are already protected. Because following the bank run is going to be a bail-in. And those people are going to lose everything. And God knows how long it's going to be before you'll be able to have access to your money, if at all. There's a reason why these markets are being manipulated. They're being controlled. There's a reason why the media does what they do, keeping you distracted with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard court case, instead of telling you about the bank runs and these failed corporations and all the other corruption, like these idiots right here in front of you on the screen. These are some of the richest CEOs of banks in the world. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. I'll catch you later. I am out.